Is capitalism inherently unstable and crisis-prone? According to Karl Marx, capitalism is an economic system that is inherently crisis-prone. It is a system that is relatively unstable since it relies on financial markets. There is much criticism about capitalism being exploitive and unreliable. I myself can agree to these points since many capitalist nations have huge economic inequalities. The rich only seem to get richer, and the poor gets poorer. This kind of cycle is dangerous and crisis-prone because if the poverty-stricken can't afford to buy goods, the economy shrinks until it eventually crashes. However, capitalism can be good for economic growth. It does indeed create a fast growth rate. It gives the people the freedom to choose what they want to consume. This leads to more competition, which results in better products and services. I believe that the key to a fair and prosperous nation is to keep the balance between a free market and a reliable, uncorrupt, wealthy government. An example of a country like this is Singapore. Yes, it is true that Singapore has a market economy, but the government owns a lot of capital. Usually, capitalism is a system that opposes the state or community of owning the factors of production. So it is very interesting that its government owns more than 90% of the country's land and owns companies that account for over 60% of the market capitalization of the Singapore Stock Exchange. At this rate, I would consider Singapore to be more of a socialist state. But what makes Singapore a strong capitalist nation is its highly developed free market economy. To be honest, I'm not really interested in what economic or political system the country is. What really matters are the ways of their success. It is the perfect example of the balance between capitalism and socialism, and possesses the advantages of both systems. Why be capitalist or socialist when you can sit in between and achieve that balance? What do the 1997 Asian financial crisis and the 2007 global financial crisis tell us about the nature of the modern world? The Asian financial crisis showed that poor, irresponsible economic decisions from one country can indeed negatively affect its neighbors and fellow trade partners. However, the crisis did cause the ASEAN and other Asian nations to build stronger and more reliable relationships so to avoid making the same mistakes. Since most of the nations in Asia have a free market economy, they need to be wiser and more careful since they rely on each other as well as the rest of the world's resources and products. The global financial crisis was a chaotic disaster. Two main causes of this crisis is greed and corruption. To simply explain what happened in 2007 to 2008, private mortgage companies and banks messed up the housing market in the USA and literally gave loans that people can't pay off. If you want to know more about this crisis while enjoying a great storyline starring top actors, you should watch or rewatch The Big Short. It goes into detail about what subprime is and everything else. To stay on topic, the 2007 financial crisis displayed the dark side of capitalism and that corruption can take place not just in the government, but also in private companies. As I mentioned earlier, a healthy, stable, and strong economy starts from acknowledging the good that capitalism and socialism brings. Why stick to one when you can make the most out of both?